If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
All right, welcome out. We're doing special edition radio. Give it up, everybody. We're Hartford County. Finally, WNST has returned to the motherland of purple. And give it up right now for starting left tackle, the big man in the house, Bryant McKinnie. Give it up. Now, Bryant, I gotta tell you, it's a special occasion. We call it Festivus or Foostivus, and we'll get into my foo in a minute. But when Drew Forrester and I do radio together, Drew, tell him, it's legendary, right?
Well, one of us is. Yeah.
We're trying to figure it out.
No. We know who's legendary.
Oh, it's infamous, not famous.
Correct.
Correct. Give it up for Drew, who golfs at Mountain Branch right down the road here in beautiful Boston. So we got a stopping point. We got a great room up here at the Mall, and we want to welcome Brian out. So how has the first 48 hours of your week off been for you? Harbaugh killing you guys yet or no?
We have practice today, but it went pretty good, and we have another practice tomorrow. Then the weekend, everybody gets to rest.
So what do you do in practice when you don't even have a game plan, you don't even know who you're playing, and I guess a lot of guys just trying to get healthy and take a breather. This has been a nice week. I think it's a nice week for the fans. We can't lose this week. We got nothing to be nervous about. It's good.
Actually, this week we kind of went over some stuff on Houston, and then tomorrow will be like Pittsburgh. We're still trying to game plan a little bit, I guess, between Houston and Pittsburgh, and then I guess Denver will be on the next two.
Yeah, the only one you can't see Cincinnati at this point. So
yeah, correct.
And we already game planned for them last week, and that went pretty well, I think. So yeah, I mean, we're real happy about that.
So I have to tell you a story.
Oh, here we go.
First of all,
picture it.
Keep in mind, he's bigger than you. So watch it.
I got to tell you a story. Before anything, though, how do you enjoy this Ravens-Pittsburgh rivalry? 2 games into it, because I have a really good Pittsburgh story to tell you.
It's actually like a more rough rivalry than Minnesota Green Bay, and that was the first game I had to experience when I first got here. Was that one, and I just heard everybody around town talking about how big of a rivalry it was to actually experience it. So it was actually competitive.
Okay, so the first game. In the first half, Harrison tries to go around on your side. You smacked him down in the head. He rolled around on the ground. You helped pick him up. Third quarter, I think the kid Ziggy, not Ziggy Marley. Ziggy Hood, right? Thank you. I wanted to say Wood for some reason. Ziggy Hood tried to do the same thing. You knocked him down. He rolled around on the ground. And in the fourth quarter, and I don't know if you remember this or not, Larry Foote came over. He was going to try and then beat you on the edge. You hit him, now you're going to say, Drew, I didn't do this. You took your forearm and you went like this to him, but I'm not going to do it to you. You hit him like right here, and he went straight down into the ground. And he got up and he just looked over at the bench and he went. And that was the highlight of the day, I thought. I went on the air the next day and I said, Bryant McKinnie is my new favorite player because you hit him with his perfect forearm.
It was Deacon Jones-esque, wasn't it? I think it was.
And the only thing Foote did was just gave the old change him up play, and he just limped over to the sideline. So
that's funny.
Well done. Well done.
Now, that Pittsburgh game, I think a lot of people had concern about you, physical, are you in shape? How did you leave Minnesota? All that stuff, and I think it was a concern. And that first game, I mean, it's pretty clear. You were like the star of the game. I mean, was there an adrenaline thing about being with a new team or the system? Or
new team, and just to prove something that I was fine, I was able to play. They tried to make it seem like I was able, like, barely could walk, I guess. I don't know. And saying I was 400 pounds. So.
How much were you? 398 or where were you?
380. I'm 360 now. It's only 20 pounds difference.
Did the lockout hurt you? Did the lockout hurt you from the standpoint of it drug out? You couldn't go anywhere. You didn't know where you were going to go. And when your name popped up, obviously everybody here in Baltimore was like, "We need a left tackle. Go get him." But I think you're a guy that had the labor situation not happened, you would have probably been able to almost pick where you wanted to go.
We were actually talking to other teams, and what's funny is on the plane coming back from Cincinnati, Ozzie was talking to me and Ray Lewis and Andre Gerard kind of about that situation. And Ozzie was like, "Man, your agent talking about you going to Buffalo," just stuff like that. Right. And I was like, "Well, yeah, they were calling." And then we was talking about how Ray was just like, "Well, you coming here, like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Tell your agent, get it done." And like, he almost didn't even give me he basically didn't give me an option to decide where I wanted to go. It was like,
Ray's like a recruiter, right? Ray's like
he is. He got Vontae Leach there. They were just explaining to different people that Ray was actually brought to the.
Ask Ray if there's any way he could come and work for the baseball team, and maybe we can get some players for that. If he's so good at getting good players, I mean, the current administration can't get any, that's for sure.
You know, the whole Miami thing, and I always kid Ray Lewis about it, because, I mean, I hated Miami back in the 80s when they were the bad boys and all that. No, I mean, Ray and I, you know, when you either love Miami or you hated Miami. I mean, that's the way it is. And I'm sure you saw the 30 for 30 and all the Luther Campbell stuff, and, I mean, you lived it. I mean, you lived the Orange Bowl. I thought so much of Miami that I went down there the last time they played in the Orange Bowl just because I'd never been there. But with Ray Lewis, what he's become for that institution, not just, I think, in a recruiting standpoint and all that, he came here, I think he was disrespected, 25 teams passed on him, and you were a kid coming up. Tell me what the relationship could be for a guy like you that never walked on the campus with Ray, never played in the same place, you didn't play in the same conference, but there's something about Ray in Miami and that family there that you knew Ray so well. So when's the first time you met Ray Lewis? Was he already a star at that point? Because, I mean, you're...
Yeah, he was. He was already in the league, and he was a star by then when I met him. Like Ray Lewis and Warren Sapp, like certain guys have that
cachet.
Yeah, at Miami. So those are the people that you kind of would listen to, look up to. And like Miami was like a brotherhood, so you looked at him as your brother too. So yeah, Ray was already a star and everything when I met him. And he used to make little deals with people back when I was in college of me giving up sacks and stuff like that too. I had caught wind of that. I think he owes me some money.
So when you give up a sack, he was texting you?
I didn't give up any in college, so that was his whole thing, is bet people that I wouldn't.
So does he owe you money then?
I think he does.
All right, well, something like that. So how do you keep that relationship to the point where you know each other well enough in the league that he's going to call you man to man and say, you got to come here and play on my football team? Because, I mean, he's done that now with Deion Sanders. He did that with McGay. I mean, you just go down the list.
Corey Fuller, I think, too, right?
Oh, absolutely. But, I mean, he's been doing it for years and years. I mean, he was involved in the recruitment process of Woodson back in the day, believe it or not, and Shannon Sharp and getting those guys. And they were more legendary than he was when they came here. Now we all know the legend of Ray, and I'm just fascinated by how many relationships he keeps in the league that he feels like they're brothers, and he can call them and say, I want you to come play for the Ravens.
He's well respected, and everybody respects his opinion, and and the fact that he believes in you enough to even recruit you to come there means a lot to them. And so he's taking.
Does that put more pressure on you when you come?
So when you come, you're like, I gotta perform. Now I gotta do good. I can't let Ravens down.
Well, so far so good. I think everybody here is in agreement.
Yeah.
You know, for Suggs to go on national television yesterday and give...
I missed that. I wish I would have seen it. I heard about it.
You gotta Google that, man.
Oh, okay.
he just kept saying, what don't you like about my quarterback? What don't you like about my quarterback? So for you, now you played with Brett Favre, right? I mean, we go through all the quarterbacks in Minnesota because there have been a number of them, but when Brett Favre came in, and now you come here and you're going to be protecting this guy named Joe Flacco, who's, let's go through Joe now. Never not made the playoffs. Never missed a snap, right, in a game. Undefeated at home this year. But what did you know about Joe Flacco coming in when you suited up for the first time? Because you knew him 10 days and you're out there protecting him.
I really didn't know too much about him. I knew he was a young quarterback and he was pretty good and he led the team to the playoffs. I think his rookie year, he had a real good year or something like that.
I said 4 good years.
Yeah, so the first couple of years I heard about him, but I didn't really know too much about him.
But for you now, and you come in here and you wonder, is he the kind of quarterback that we can win a championship with? Because you're another one of those veteran guys that, at this point, you made a lot of money, you've had the, Pro Bowls and all that.
But I mean, I look at it as, if you're able to get your team to be 12-4, to keep making the playoffs, I can't see why you can't win the Super Bowl with that quarterback. He's doing something right. He keeps having winning records,
So what's he doing right? I mean, you've been in the league a decade, and you've been in a lot of huddles. You've been in a lot of film studying games.
I think he makes better decisions. The older he gets, the more, wiser he'll become. But the game we played Cleveland when they jumped off sides of them, that was his idea. Like, there's some things that people probably don't know. He went to the sideline and told Coach Harbaugh, let's call this and make them jump off sides. We're not going to really call the play and just keep saying, and somebody will jump. And they were like, nah, nobody's going to jump. Nobody's going to jump. He's like, yes.
That's the oldest shit
that doesn't work.
But it worked. Nobody thought it was going to work, and it worked. So it's like, so he's just becoming smarter as a quarterback, and he's learning to become a leader. He was here the first 3 years. He still was getting a feel for his teammates and everything. But now, in your 4th year, you kind of come into your own, and you start to become a leader.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.